We're moving into the middle school years, and that requires a more mature space. So come along with me as I transform this room. Here we're starting from scratch, just emptying out all of the cubbies and cabinets and just all of the spaces and supplies and things that we've accumulated over all of these elementary years. Woohoo for success, we emptied out the cubbies. Now to start on the supply cabinet. It took a while to get it all done, and there were a few rabbit trails in between as we picked up other things along the way. Man, I don't know how we had so much stuff packed into that cabinet, but we did get rid of quite a bit. It feels great to clean out another cabinet. Everything's unpacked. Now it's time to get it all organized. So here I'm just sorting through all of the cubbies. There are so many things from the elementary years to get rid of, to donate, and some to save for mementos. Now I'm moving into day 2 of the project, and that requires me cleaning out the space where the animals are. Yeah, that space was pretty dirty. But I swept up, scrubbed the floors, and I'm getting the space ready for something new. It may not look like a ton of progress, but this is the end of day 2 of this homeschool room renovation project. And so I'm just going to kind of give you a little tour and show you what I've accomplished today. I have some piles of items that are in places with other like items. So there's some on the table, some over on the game area, and then I have some on the floor as well, and then some items back there on the couch. But I have all of the items organized. I went through and threw away things that needed to be thrown away, donated some items, and then kept the like items that I've organized. I've set up a little space for my son to be able to work on his piano skills and his drums. I have marked out an area where he's going to have an independent station with his school stuff, his own desk. And so that's something new that we're going to do, because we did used to work over at the table together, and now he's going into middle school independent mode. My older one's already doing college classes, and she's almost done with her senior year, so she's definitely independent. I have the cabinet that I'm going to get organized, but I've moved it over into a new space close to his items. And that is it on the little tour of what's been done so far. So just stick with me. We're going to roll into day 3. We're now day 3 into this project of getting the homeschool room put together, and I've gotten some new materials that I'm going to be putting into this cabinet. Let me just show you what Here's a brand new package from My Father's World. It's the Rome to Reformation, and so it just goes through basically church history. We have Rome, the fall of the Roman Empire, Jesus' death, Paul's ministry, all the way leading up to the Reformation in the time of Martin Luther and the early church history. And so that'll be really interesting to learn about this year, now that we've done the deep dive into the Old Testament with the creation to Greeks. So I have language lessons for today, writing lessons. These are the recommended books from My Father's World for ELA, and we've done great with those. We get to broach this subject, the wonderful way babies are made. I think that I will let my husband kind of go over that a little more, being that this is my son. The story of Pilgrim's Progress, lots of readers. Living books is really a great way to learn history. We have Augustus Caesar's world, and we get to learn all about what it was like during that time. Just some fun stuff, learning how to play chess, making a castle. The human body, we've used this book before with Noeo Science. So we just get to learn more about the body this year. The Roman Empire and astronomy. So we're digging into astronomy with My Father's World. But I also bought the Noeo physics kit because my son loves science, and so this is just the experiments and the experiment guide. It's a lot cheaper than the whole box, and it just gives us something fun and extra to do. And so then there's a couple more books going back over here that we're going to be reading this year. The Gateway into Medicine, Trial and Triumph, The Door to the Wall, more about the human body for every kid, The Story of the World, History for the Classical Child, covering the Middle Ages, and then The Bronze Bow. And so I'm really excited. We've been using My Father's World for about going into our 5th year now, and we really have enjoyed everything from them. The math, though, we get from master books. We really like the style of math better It's just kind of like a cumulative review, and it just keeps my son engaged and interested a little bit better than the recommended My Father's World math. And then we got a couple of books. This year we're going to be reading the Left Behind series. I picked that up, still boxed at a thrift store, and some cool old books. And then just some more from like Ken Ham Answers in Genesis, Answers book for kids. So I'm just excited to dive into this year, and now I'm going to get this cabinet filled up. I'm going to get all the books put away, and that's about all I'll be able to get done today. It's day 4, and this room's still not done because things happen, emergencies come up, other things need attending to. So that's what's been happening here. But I'm going to show you a few little things we did get. We found this desk at Habitat for Humanity for $16. So my husband is busy sanding it down and putting a coating on it, and we also have a chair to go with. And we got this chair for $4.99, so it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. It's starting to come together. The desk just went in, and a shelf above it stained in the same color. Now's the perfect opportunity to go ahead and get all of the windows and window sills cleaned. So I'm going to do that through the whole homeschool room, and my husband is just popping in to ask me about stain colors. It's time for our annual go through the games and get rid of the ones that no one plays with. As you can see, we have a bunch. It's been a long day with this room, and it looks like the cat wants to take a ride on the coffee table. So I'm just going through and putting things back where they belong, getting things organized. And we also got a brand new rug from Lowe's. It's washable, 5x7, and it was only $31. So I'm going to get that set in place just to create a nice little space in this room. I'm on day 5, though it hasn't been 5 actual consecutive days. I've just been working on this each day that I have a chance. So now I have my last little section here, which is just the remaining things that I'm going to keep. But they're mostly supplies, but I need to just put those away and figure out new spots for those since everything's been moved around. So this should be the last day that I'm putting things away, and then after that it's just finishing touches and decoration, and it should be all ready for the reveal. Now I'm just going through all of the supplies. It's satisfying to watch all of it disappear as I go through it and put it into its like piles and even discard a few things. All of the supplies has been sorted into little containers, and now it's time to just put it all away. The hardest part about putting it all away is figuring out where it's all going to go. Good thing we have this desk now. And also I've had all of the school supplies for multiple years, another benefit of homeschool. Now we have all of the books and the supplies, science stuff and art stuff, and we have a drawer with my teacher supplies, and then all of the other supplies, notebooks, paper products. Now watch me transform these French doors. I was inspired by the look of stained glass from this lighting that I picked up at an antique store, and so I found this very similar pattern on Amazon, and this is peel and stick window cling. And so all that you do is you just take the sheets and cut them down to size, and then you spray the glass with a little soapy water and peel the backing off and adhere the cling, and then you use just some squeegee and a razor blade to get the excess water out and cut it down to size. It really is a pretty simple project, something I could do myself in no time. I have finally finished this homeschool transformation, so let's check it out. Since we have to share the homeschool room with the animals, I went ahead and put this kitty tree in the corner, just out of the way. We have a nice little seating area, and then when you turn around, we have the television so that we can watch videos. We have some Legos over there in the corner, a big map up here. And now we have this huge whiteboard, and it is actually double-sided. Plenty of room to work out all of those middle school math problems. On the other side of it, I've put up the multiplication and cursive chart. Just opposite of the whiteboard, we still have our dining table, but that is going to be our shared workspace for working on big art projects. And then just behind it, we have the game cabinet because we love to play games as part of our school day. And over here we have the printer set up. I have these cute little knickknacks basically that I bought at an antique store, and it reminded me so much of my daughter and my son playing his music. And so I just love that they look like bust, and it just goes really good with the theme that we have going this year. We have some live plants to continue taking care of, as well as a faux plant. Now this plant is actually also a kitty litter box, so that's how we're sharing the room without making it look totally like an animal's room. And then over here we have our corner. We have some chickens peeking in. We get to watch our chickens and listen to them throughout our day. But we have just a place for my son to play piano and drums. And we have our storage cabinet, which I've already showed you. But let me show you one thing I did get are some new boxes. I've added more of the pencil boxes just for more storage. They stack nicely, and actually I have room if I needed to for 3 more of those right there. So we've just got everything nice and organized in there. Got some knickknacks on top that kind of pull together our theme, the Rome to Reformation theme. And then over here is my son's desk area. Since he's going into middle school, we decided to give him his own space, and so he has a little area up here at the top to hang things that he's done. We have some bases and scrolls, and just some cool little statues that I picked up at a like an outlet discount store. Some old books I picked up at an antique store, and then we've got our ancient Rome land layout there, a little box to keep his things in. We have some different just reading material in here for him, and just other little odds and ends like the clock and the bust to keep all of his pencils in. Electronic pencil sharpener is always handy. And then I have these little baskets here on the side just because we have to share the room with animals. We have all of the doggy toys in this one, and then over here we have a trash can. And so it just makes the whole space kind of come together. If I back up and give you the big picture view of it. So let me spin around and just give you the big picture view. You walk in through the stained glass doors. We've got the map, the area for entertainment, the animal area, the seating lounge area, our printer, our storage space for games, our dining table, the organization for all of the supplies, and my son's desk, rounding around to the whiteboard. So this room is complete. Thank you guys for taking the journey with me. But that's not all. Let's take a little trip to the library. Welcome to our little book nook. My daughter has some books stored on this side and a whole lot more in her room. And then we have this little bench seating area with pillows off of Amazon. This is actually a storage bench that opens. And then if you come around to the other side, we have all of my son's books on this side. So that's just our little library.